And now, ladies and gentlemen, you have waited for them for long enough. It is time for Tomato Tuxedo.
So my grandmother is quite a character. She is in her 60s, she's had a heart attack, and she has COPD, and she smokes incessantly, which is what you're not supposed to do when you have COPD. Anyways, I was on the phone with her the other day, and she was telling me why she was not going to go back to her diabetic doctor anymore. So I'm like, wow, that's very interesting, Grandma. Tell me the story. So she says that she was going to her diabetic doctor the other day, but she was running way ahead of schedule. So she decided that to kill some time, she was going to go to the Goodwill. And she gets to the Goodwill, and she says that her stomach's rumbling and she's not feeling so great. So she's going down the aisle, and she's trying to make her way to the bathroom. And she just didn't make it. She said, "Jen, I shit my pants." And I'm like, okay. Go on. So she says, "Jen, it was everywhere. It was running down my legs, it was going into my socks. I was just so embarrassed, so I left the Goodwill. I didn't even go and shop anywhere in there. I got into my car, and it was getting all over me. It was everywhere. And so I went to the Meijer, and I got myself cleaned up a little bit. And I was still running early, so I went back home. I got completely cleaned up, and then I was good to go. I went to the diabetic doctor, and I still had plenty of time. And I'm like, Grandma, Jesus, how early did you leave? Did you leave the day before?" So she says, I got into the doctor's office. I start filling out the paperwork. They take me back to the room, and I get my blood test done. And the nurse tells me to take my shoes off, because they got to examine my feet when I go to the diabetic doctor. It's just part of it, I guess. So I do that, and then I don't see the doctor. The doctor doesn't come in. And then the nurse comes back into the room and says, "Well, the doctor doesn't want to see you because you have a cough." And my grandma is so pissed at this point, but all I can think is, what does this have to do with shitting your pants at the Goodwill? So I guess now she has to go to a different doctor because this doctor won't see her because she has a cough. That's what upset her, and that's fine. But I had to choke down laughter and say, "I'm sorry that happened to you, Grandma. Those doctors are evil sometimes." So that is my grandma in a nutshell.